Jesus, and he is being tormented by temptations of demons and the guilt of making crosses for the Romans and pity for men and the world and consistent with, and he has a problem with the will of God. He sets out to find God for himself in a new light. And in this movie, his mission nears fulfillment, but just before he is done, he begins to internalize and imagine a normal lifestyle whereby he is a good man, where he marries Mary Magdalene and they have children, and this propels Christ as a physical normal person, because what they're trying to do is to undergird or to go under roundabout to break the faith of Christians, because they're trying to bring Jesus down to our level. The next movie that came out just a few days ago, it was entitled 2006, it was entitled The Da Vinci Code. And in the Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown's leveraging some facts into this gigantic sketch of imagination, where a murder takes place in certain parts of Italy or certain parts of France, and in this painting they began to review as they go and try to figure out why the murder took place, and they're doing their investigation. They come across this secret society where these numbers, and this is leading to that, and the plot begins whereby they're saying the secret society states that Christ was really not risen, but he had somehow met up with Mary Magdalene, had a child, and now is living somewhere because he was not resurrected. And then lastly, there is what we have today that was released this week, The Lost Tomb of Jesus is Found. Now, in this new Discovery Channel television documentary, the producer James Cameron, the one that made the Titanic, and this Jewish director, they come together to attempt to prove that Jesus' burial in a cave and body were now discovered in Jerusalem, and we just missed it somehow. And somehow they found Jesus because Jesus, he got together again with Mary Magdalene. They sired a child and they lived together, and somehow they died and they put them all in the same tomb, and now they have found the tomb. And what they're saying is that Christianity is lying, saying that there was no Jesus met 5,000. That did not happen. Jesus was ascended on high. That did not happen. And the cross and everything that we believe in is falsehood, as well as a tragedy, because Christianity now has been exposed. But I want to tell you today that the Bible declares, according to St. Matthew chapter number 24, Jesus responds and says this. He says, if any man say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there is Christ, he says, believe it not. For there shall arise many false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch as it be possible if they might deceive the very elect. Get somebody by the hand and tell them, I'm not going anywhere. They can say what they want to say. They can bring up what they want to bring up. They can try to disown Christ all they want to. I want to tell you that I am not going anywhere, and I will not be deceived by man's thoughts, nor his plotting, nor what he tries to bring about to discourage, tries to bring about fear, worry, and doubt in the body of Christ. I wish you would tell somebody real quick, give them a high five and tell them I'm here this day. I want you to understand this, that their aim is to launch an all-out attack against the body of Christ, to discourage us, to discredit us, and to destroy our faith. There is no other religious group in all of the world that's more hated for their faith than us Christians. There are other people who are hated for their deeds. saints. There are other people who are hated for what they've done, but Christians are hated for their faith in a God that we say got up 3 days later. Can somebody shout glory in this house? I want you to understand this, because Jesus declared here, and I love it when he says this. He said unto them, did not ever you read in the text that the stones which the builders rejected, the same is become the head of the corner? This is the Lord's doing, and it's marvelous in our eyes. What Jesus then is saying to us is, because they are not in his place and they cannot be who he is, some haters are going to arise, and they're going to try to discourage us from being what we are. But look at somebody and tell them, it's too late, it's too late, it's too late. I want you to see this, because I'm taking a little bit deeper. John in his day, the Apostle John, when he wrote the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, just before you get to Jude and then Revelation, he was dealing with, and he wrote those books to combat a group of individuals that called themselves the Gnostics. The Gnostics were individuals in John's day that taught an erroneous gospel or doctrine, saying that Jesus was not real. Because all things that are tangible and matter, anything that's tangible and matter, they taught it was evil. And what they spread was that all spiritual energy or spiritual essence is good, but anything that is tangible is evil. And so they further pushed this and said that therefore Jesus could not possibly have come in the flesh, because anything that is flesh is evil and anything that is spiritual is good. They further pushed it by bringing up some various sections of Jesus' life to say that during this time he was spirit and during this time he was flesh. And therefore they put a burden on the people, saying that in order to get into heaven you have to fulfill all of this crazy stuff to reach salvation. And I'm here to tell you today that no matter how many ridiculous requirements that folk put on you for salvation, God said, if you believe that he raised Jesus from the dead, you shall be saved. You don't need to put no ridiculous requirements in here and make me do Hail Marys and this, that, and the other. Only thing I've got to do is believe that he died and that he rose and got up again, and I have salvation. Somebody give my God some praise in this house. Yes, I'm going to drag you with me today. John assumes the deity, Jesus' deity, while propagating his humanity. What John then says is, I want you to understand that the humanity of Jesus, that's all you got to do is read chapter number 1 of 1 John. John said, I handled him, I touched him, and I was right there with him. I stepped by him, I ate with him, and I know that he's real. He's just as real can get. He says, as a matter of fact, he was born in the flesh, the likeness of sinful flesh, without sin, and with all points tempted like as we, yet without sin. I don't know about you, but I thank God that he was real. I thank God that Jesus came in the likeness of sinful flesh, condemning sin in the flesh, and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross, and got up 3 days later and made himself known to over 500 people all at the same time. Somebody open your mouth and say, I thank God for Jesus. Yes, we're going deep today, because while John assumes Jesus' deity while propagating his humanity, we believe in his humanity and experience his deity in the presence in our hearts. See, one thing that the world cannot take from us is we got him on the inside. I wish you would find 2 or 3 people and tell them it's too late. I got him on the inside. It's too late. I feel him every time I think of Jesus. I feel him. I don't know about you, but I don't need any bones to verify whether or not Jesus was in the grave. It's too late. He's in my heart. It's too late. He's in my spirit. And I'm here to tell you today, I'm getting ready to go to the next level. Somebody shout glory up in this house. Let me work on it. Can I work on it?